my friend. Her name is that's yeah, the Atlas, and I don't know who's watching, but and if any of you want to join, the code is this. Again, I said no one's watching, and then we're gonna start. Yes, pero no me ca. Oh, wait, what time is it? Oh, in 2 minutes I have to do my class. I said in 2 minutes. No, not right now. Like in 1 minute. Yeah, I can. I'll be AFK. Bye bye. I gotta mute. Yes.
Did you do your other class this morning?
Yeah.
Is today an A day or B day?
B day.
Okay, did Mrs. B get a hold of you? Mrs. B.
Yeah.
Bully.
Volleyball.
Okay, so what'd she tell you?
Watch 20 minutes.
A days, right?
Yeah.
Which one's this?
Ryder. Go ahead and unmute brother.
Yeah. Well, I know the new times is messed me up. Okay, we gotta run the post office.
Yes, yep. So from now on, your math week will be from 2:30 to 3 o'clock. Okay. Good question. Hi, Nancy. I'll introduce you guys to everyone, and once everyone's here, is your brother here? Yes, Rocco. You're gonna have to keep your camera on, buddy. I only want to say that one time. That's the deal. Alex, camera on, please.
Sorry, I came on a minute.
It's okay. All right, I'm going to start with attendance. Good morning, everyone. I see Alex is here. Good morning. Hi, Ariana. Hello, Sai. Sai, I can't see you, just your forehead. There he is. Hey, Jacob. Welcome back. James is here. Jason, good morning. Good morning, Josh. Hello, Julia. Leland. Good morning, Miranda.
I'm here.
He's back. All right, we've got 2 new kiddos joining us in the remote classroom. Everyone can wave and say hello to Nancy.
Yeah.
And her brother Rocco. And they've moved to the remote setting, so they will be joining us now. Did you guys go to science earlier today? Oh, okay, so you guys already knew that they were part of the class. Just to let you know, Emma returned to in-person learning, so she's back here at school, so she won't be in the remote class anymore. Just so you're aware. All right, I see Ryder is here. And Chantel, good morning. All right, how we doing today? Give me a thumbs up if you're feeling good. In the middle or down. Any thumbs down today? No? Sai, how you doing? I still can't see you. Good? All right, just in the middle. Leland, what's going on?
I didn't know. I got a new art class, and I didn't know there was something posted, so I had to get that done.
Oh, okay, so a little frustrated with art because of art?
Yeah, because I didn't know I had it posted, and it was due yesterday.
That's okay. We're getting back into the swing this year, so I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna not even have class yet.
Oh, Julia's a little grumpy. 7 a.m. alarm. All right, so we're gonna get started. So if you remember back from yesterday, I explained that we'll be starting our new unit this week. Okay, we're still gathering the materials. It looks like Thursday will be when your families can come and pick up your supplies. Okay, but we still have to finalize that time. Okay, so we'll start Unit 2 later this week. Unit 2 will be on early civilization. So we'll be learning about the Maya, the Inca, and the Aztec civilization. So it's a really cool unit. I think you guys are going to love it. Okay. All right, so for today, though, I'm going to be doing a read aloud with you. Okay, so I'm going to read a story to you, and then we're going to do a writing piece. Okay, before I do that, though, I want to go over the assignment and answer questions that you have based on the assignment that was posted this morning. Okay, so in the classroom under today, which is January 5th, doesn't want to load. Okay, this was the ELA for today. Let's see. Oh, it looks like a lot of you have completed it. Okay, so your assignment for today, all I wanted you to do was to go back into your Unit 1 Little Reader and choose your favorite story. Okay, what I wanted you to practice, though, is practice your fluency and your accuracy by reading parts of the story aloud. Okay, so because you guys aren't here in school with us, I'm worried that you're not practicing reading aloud as much as you would if you were here. So hopefully you did not skip this step. Okay, even if you're just reading by yourself in your bedroom. Okay, we have to practice reading aloud to build our fluency and our accuracy. Okay, when you were done with that, you were asked to complete the Google Doc, which had 5 questions based on the story that you chose. Okay, does anyone have any questions about that assignment? Yes, Leland, what's your question?
My question is that my question is that when you read it, do you have to read the entire story?
No. Well, no, I did want you to reread the entire story, but you didn't have to reread the whole story out loud.
Okay. Because I read most of it in my head, and almost like a little part I didn't.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Alex, please turn your camera on. Okay, I don't want to have to keep saying that direction. Okay, it's January 5th. You guys know that your cameras stay on. Okay, so, Jason, I see your question. Thursday, we'll send out a message in Parent Square, but it will be any time that we're in school. So from 8:05 to 3:05 for pickups. Okay, that's a good question. All right, so the story that I'm going to share with you is called Brave Irene. Okay, has anyone read this story before or heard it? This is actually on Storyline Online, that website that you guys like to go to listen to stories. So if you're interested in hearing it again after I read it to you, you can go onto that website, Storyline Online. Okay, this is a favorite story for us at home. My children love this story. And one of the reasons why we love it so much is because of the message. Okay, the main character, her name is Irene. Okay, she goes through some challenges in the story. So one of the reasons why I love it so much is because of the message that it sends to the readers about being persistent and not giving up when something is challenging. Okay, all right, so sit back. I'm going to have you guys stay sitting up today. Okay, because I'm going to be checking in with you and asking some questions. All right, so Brave Irene. When we're all done with the story tomorrow, we're going to be doing a writing piece where you have to write about a challenge that you've had in your life. Okay, so as I'm reading this to you, you can start thinking about a connection. No, it's okay. Just one moment, guys. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so Brave Irene, and something else that I love about this story are the illustrations. So hopefully when I hold it up to the camera, you'll be able, can you guys see the illustrations? Is that a good spot? Yes, this actually won, it was a New York Times Best Illustrated Book of the Year. So it actually won an award for the illustrations. All right, here we go. Mrs. Bobbin, the dressmaker, was tired and had a bad headache, but she still managed to sew the last stitches in the gown she was making. "It's the most beautiful dress in the whole world," said her daughter, Irene. "The Duchess will love it." "It is nice," her mother admitted, "but Dumpling, it's for tonight's ball, and I don't have the strength to bring it. I feel sick." "Poor Mama," said Irene. "I can get it there." "No, Cupcake, I can't let you," said Mrs. Bobbin. "Such a huge package, and it's such a long way to the palace. Besides, it's starting to snow." "But I love snow," Irene insisted. She coaxed her mother into bed, covered her with 2 quilts, and added a blanket to her feet. Then she fixed her some tea with lemon and honey and put more wood in the stove. With great care, Irene took the splendid gown down from the dummy and packed it in a big box with plenty of tissue paper. You see the box right here. "Dress warmly," her mother called in a weak voice, "and don't forget to button up. It's cold out there and windy." It really was cold outside, very cold. The wind whirled the falling snow, flakes about this way, that way, and into Irene's squinting face. She set out on the uphill path to Farmer Bennett's sheep pasture. By the time she got there, the snow was up to her ankles, and the wind was worse. It hurried her along and made her stumble. Irene resented this. The box was problem enough. "Easy does it," she cautioned the wind, leaning back hard against it. If you've ever been outside in a snowstorm when it's really windy, you can relate to this. Okay? Anyone? We just had that bad storm a couple weeks ago. By the middle of the pasture, the flakes were falling thicker. Now the wind drove Irene along so rudely she had to hop, skip, and go helter-skeltering over the knobby ground. Cold snow sifted into her boots and chilled her feet. She pushed out her lip and hurried on. This was an important errand. You can see here on her face. Can you guys see her expression on her face? She's got this fierce look of determination. James, you can't see that? Can you see?
You're frozen on.
Oh, okay. So if you look at the picture, she's got this very fierce look of determination on her face. When she reached Apple Road, the wind decided to put on a show. It ripped branches from trees and flung them about, swept up and scattered the fallen snow, got in front of Irene to keep her from moving ahead. Irene turned around and pressed backwards. I've actually had to do that before. I've had to walk backwards against the wind. It was so powerful. Anyone else have to do that before? Yes. Go home, the wind squalled. Irene, go home. I will do no such thing, she snapped. No such thing, you wicked wind. Go home, the wind yodeled. Go home, it shrieked. For a short second, Irene wondered if she shouldn't heed the wind's warning. But no, the gown had to get to the Duchess. I love her expression here, just like yelling at the wind. You'll notice, too, the author used some personification. If you think back to Unit 1, we talked about personification when an author gives a human trait to something that's not a human. So on this page, when the wind was telling her to go home, and you're yelling at her, that's an example of personification. The wind wrestled her for the package, walloped it, twisted it, shook it, snatched at it. But Irene wouldn't yield. It's my mother's work, she screamed. Then the box was wrenched from her mittened grasp and sent bumbling along in the snow. Irene went after it. She pounced and took hold, but the ill-tempered wind ripped the box open. The ball gown flounced out and went waltzing through the powdered air with tissue paper. Irene clung to the empty box and watched the beautiful gown disappear. How could anything so terribly wrong be allowed to happen? Tears froze on her lashes. Her dear mother's hard work. All those days of measuring, cutting, pinning, stitching for this? And the poor Duchess. Irene decided she would have to trudge on with just the box and explain everything in person. She went shuffling through the snow. Would her mother understand, she wondered, that it was the wind's fault, not hers? Would the Duchess be angry? The wind was howling like a wild animal. Guys, what's going on in the chat? I'm distracted by the chat box, and unless you have a question, shouldn't be using the chat box. That's the rule. That's been the rule. What's going on? I've heard. Yeah, sometimes, Alex, if your internet is losing connection, everyone's camera will look like it's off, but they're not. Everyone's camera is on my end. She plowed on, dragging furrows with her sore foot. The short winter day was almost done. Am I still going the right way, she wondered? There was no one around to advise her. Whoever else there was in this snow-covered world was far, far away and safe indoors. Even the animals in their burrows. She went plodding on. I love how determined she is. Okay, now she's carrying an empty box. She doesn't even have the dress anymore. But she's still showing determination. I love that. Soon, night took over. She knew in the dark that the muffled snow was still falling. She could feel it. She was cold and alone in the middle of nowhere. Irene was lost. She had to keep moving. She was hoping she'd come to a house, any house at all, and be taken in. She badly needed to be in someone's arms. The snow was above her knees now. She shoved her way through it, clutching the empty box. She was asking how long a small person could keep this struggle up when she realized it was getting lighter. There was a soft glow coming from somewhere below her. She waded toward the glow and soon was gazing down at a long slope at a brightly lit mansion. It had to be the palace. Irene pushed forward with all her strength and slush, thump, she plunged downward and was buried. She had fallen off a little cliff. Only her hat and the box in her hands stuck out above the snow. Even if she could call for help, no one would hear her. Her body shook. Her teeth chattered. Why not freeze to death, she thought, and let all these troubles end? Why not? She was already buried. And never see her mother's face again? Her good mother who smelled like fresh baked bread? In an explosion of fury, she flung her body about to free herself and was finally able to climb up on her knees and look around. How to get down to that glittering palace? As soon as she raised the question, she had the answer. She laid the box down and climbed aboard, but it pressed into the snow and stuck. She tried again, and this time, instead of climbing on, she leaped. The box shot forward like a sled. I love this part because it shows how clever she is, using the box as a sled. The wind raced after Irene but couldn't keep up. In a moment, she would be with people again, inside where it was warm. The sled slowed and jerked to a stop on paving stones. Alex, turn your camera on, please. The time had come to break the bad news to the Duchess. With the empty box to her chest, Irene strode nervously toward the palace. But then her feet stopped moving and her mouth fell open. She stared. Maybe this was impossible. Yet there it was, a little way off and over to the right, hugging the trunk of the tree, the beautiful ball gown. The wind was holding it there. She managed somehow, despite the wind's meddling, to get the gown off the tree and back into its box. And in another moment, she was at the door of the palace. She knocked twice with the big brass knocker. The door opened, and she burst in. She was welcomed by cheering servants and the delirious Duchess. They couldn't believe she had come over the mountain in such a storm, all by herself. She had to tell the whole story, every detail, and she did. Then she asked to be taken right back to her sick mother. But it was out of the question. They said the road that ran around the mountain wouldn't be cleared until morning. Don't fret, child, said the Duchess. Your mother is surely sleeping now. We'll get you there first thing tomorrow. Irene was given a good dinner as she sat by the fire, the moisture steaming off her clothes. The Duchess, meanwhile, got into her freshly ironed gown before the guests began arriving in their sleighs. And what a wonderful ball it was. The Duchess in her new gown was like a bright star in the sky. Irene, in her ordinary dress was radiant. She was swept up into dances by handsome aristocrats, these gentlemen here, who kept her feet off the floor to spare her ankle. Her mother would enjoy hearing all about it. Early the next morning, when snow had long stopped falling, Mrs. Bobbin woke from a good night's sleep feeling much improved. She hurried about and got a fire going in the cold stove. Then she went to look in on Irene. But Irene's bed was empty. She ran to the window and gazed at the white landscape. No one was out there. Snow powder fell from the branch of the tree. "Where is my child?" Mrs. Bobbin cried. She whipped on her coat to go out and find out. She pulled the door open. A wall of drift faced her. But peering over it, she could see a horse-drawn sleigh coming up the path. And seated on the sleigh, between two large footmen, was Irene herself, asleep but smiling. Well, there was a bearded doctor in the back of the sleigh, and the Duchess had sent Irene's mother a ginger cake with white icing, some oranges and a pineapple, and a spiced candy of many flavors, along with a note saying how much she cherished her gown, and what a brave and loving person Irene was, which, of course, Mrs. Bobbin knew better than the Duchess. Thank you guys for being such good listeners today. So like I said in the beginning, the reason why I chose this story is because I really like the message, okay, or the theme of the story, okay, or the moral of the story. So what we're going to do tomorrow, and this is something you can think about today, is I want you to think of a moment in your life that has been challenging for you. Okay, so a challenge is anything that you have to work and be persistent at, and it might be frustrating at times. I think remote learning is probably a good one to choose. If you find this remote learning to be challenging, that could be something that you write about. It could be anything though. It could be something that happened to you a long time ago. It could be something, a challenge that you're still working through today. But that will be our plan for tomorrow. So we'll use this story as our mentor text, and we will do a writing piece tomorrow on a challenging moment. Okay? Anyone have an idea already of what they're going to write about tomorrow? Yeah, Josh, what's your challenge?
Definitely controlling my brother.
Controlling or
Keeping him calm.
keeping,
Because
okay.
that's my job.
Okay, so keeping your brother calm. Okay, all right. So Josh, what I want you to do is start thinking about some positive character traits, some things that you have to use in order to do that. Okay, Leland, do you have an idea for the challenge?
The challenge it only comes once in a while, but football, because you have to know how to play and make sure you don't let your team down if you have the ball.
Okay, good. So you're going to write about your experience playing football. I love it. Ariana, do you have an idea for tomorrow?
Yeah, to keep calm and help my family out because my grandma just tested positive for COVID.
Okay. That's a big challenge. So I'll help you organize your writing tomorrow so that you can write about your challenge. James, do you have an idea?
Trying to get the internet to connect to my phone.
Okay. All right. So that's what I'll leave you with today. Start thinking about what challenge you'd like to write about for tomorrow. And I will see you guys then. Thanks. Bye. Thomas, 10:45.